The human body, designed by God, functions as a finely tuned physical mechanism of great strength. However, to sustain its operation, it requires a source of energy known as food. God instilled in us an innate craving for food called hunger, ensuring that our bodies are nourished. Food not only satisfies our appetites, but also provides us with energy, maintaining the balance of nature and facilitating the continuity of life. Considering this, why would someone willingly choose to deprive themselves of food in modern times? Society has conditioned us to eat 3 meals a day, emphasizing the importance of a hearty breakfast as the foundation for a strong day. We were taught in school to eat 3 full meals and exercise to maintain our strength. So, why would anyone skip meals? In today's world, abstaining from eating, commonly known as dieting, is often practiced for weight loss or health reasons. However, some individuals refrain from eating for spiritual purposes, which is referred to as fasting in the Bible. Fasting involves voluntarily refraining from food for a specific period to achieve a spiritual objective. Let's consider an example from the Old Testament. Once a year, Jewish faithful were obligated to observe a fast on the 10th day of the 7th month. This day, known as the Day of Atonement or Yom Kippur, held great significance. It was a solemn occasion where individuals would afflict themselves, refraining from work and fasting. This fast was observed by everyone, as God wanted all to acknowledge and reflect upon the profound experience of their salvation. On the Day of Atonement, the high priest would enter the Holy of Holies and offer the blood of an animal to atone for the sins of the entire nation. Leviticus 16:4 states that he would cleanse himself, put on special garments, and present burnt offerings for himself and the people. Since this day dealt with the sins of the entire nation, it was essential for everyone to participate in fasting, aligning themselves with the high priest's sacrificial act and seeking forgiveness for their sins. Jesus also spoke about fasting to his disciples. In Matthew 6:16-18, he advised them not to adopt a somber appearance like the hypocrites who wanted to showcase their fasting to others. Jesus emphasized that these individuals had already received their reward. Instead, when his disciples fasted, he encouraged them to maintain a normal appearance, anoint their heads, wash their faces, and keep their fasting private, known only to their unseen Father. Jesus regarded fasting as a valid spiritual practice and cautioned against seeking public recognition for it. By voluntarily giving up both pleasurable and necessary foods, fasting captures God's attention. Even in those times, Jesus warned against flaunting one's fasting, emphasizing the importance of humility and sincerity in this spiritual discipline. Fasting involves temporarily refraining from fulfilling bodily desires, primarily related to food, in order to focus on spiritual needs. During this time, instead of consuming food, individuals dedicate themselves to secret prayer, seeking divine intervention in various aspects of life. However, if your intention is to avoid food in order to receive admiration for your perceived spirituality, then the approval of others will serve as your reward. Concerns about fasting arise especially for those who have never tried it before. The idea of going without food for any period of time can be intimidating. People have various concerns due to our ingrained habit of eating 3 meals a day. Many wonder if they will experience hunger and if the hunger pangs will be severe. Others have different worries, such as whether they have the endurance to complete the fasting journey. What if you come across a television advertisement suggesting that a chocolate bar will help you overcome an afternoon energy slump? Some individuals also worry about how their friends will judge them if they choose to fast. Will my friends view me as peculiar if they discover that I am fasting? The answer is simple. You do not fast to impress your friends, and typically, you do not even inform them. As previously mentioned, Jesus advised, "When you fast, anoint your head and wash your face, so that your fasting will not be obvious to others, but only to your Father who is unseen. And your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you openly. Matthew 6:17-18. Jesus was reminding us not to display our religious devotion to God outwardly. Instead, fasting is a personal commitment between you and God. You can fast privately without informing anyone, while at other times you may choose to participate in a communal fast, such as with your church or another individual, to address a specific issue. For instance, Ezra fasted with 4,000 people, and Esther requested that all Jewish believers fast for divine intervention. Every year in May, Christians are invited to participate in the National Day of Prayer and Fasting. Fasting should not be confused with dieting, nor is it primarily about abstaining from food for health reasons. There are numerous types of fasts for spiritual purposes, and people fast for various reasons, often combining the experience with prayer. Fasting is a biblical practice that can help individuals enhance their spiritual well-being and become fervent prayer warriors for God. Some individuals hold the belief that Christians do not require discipline. Nevertheless, as we develop our strength through engaging in spiritual practices, it's essential to acknowledge that we are devoted followers of Christ. A dedicated disciple possesses proficiency in various areas, and fasting is merely one of the disciplines practiced by Christians. Jesus instructed his disciples that when they intercede for others, whether it be for the church or the salvation of individuals, they will encounter opposition from Satan. Similar to scaling a mountain, fasting is both spiritually and physically demanding. Therefore, when embarking on this venture, it is crucial to have a clear understanding of your intentions and be aware that the path ahead may present challenges. Nonetheless, the rewards gained from fasting will undoubtedly be worthwhile. If you are new to fasting, it is advisable to start with small steps, as God will honor your initial act of faith, which may appear insignificant to others but holds great significance for you. Additionally, during fasting, your attitude and response are of utmost importance to God. Just as a marriage proposal's acceptance is not determined by its length but by the sincerity behind it, God values the sincerity of your prayers during fasting more than their duration. Therefore, when commencing a fast, do not fret about its duration. Instead, focus on ensuring your relationship with God is in good standing. God, being all-knowing, comprehends and appreciates the genuineness of your prayers. If you have never fasted before, consider initiating your fasting experience by skipping one meal. In the Old Testament, Jews were obligated to observe a one-day fast on Yom Kippur every year, beginning at sunset and concluding at the following day's sunset, according to the Jewish calendar. God instructed the Jews to count their days, with the evening and the morning constituting the first day. Genesis 1:5. Hence, plan to commence your fast at sunset or slightly before, omitting your usual evening meal. Subsequently, forego breakfast and lunch the following day until sunset. Traditionally, most Jews concluded their fast by consuming a regular meal. Furthermore, if you desire companionship during your fasting period, particularly when seeking a specific answer to prayer, consider inviting someone to join you in prayer and fasting. While private prayer and fasting serve as the foundation for all intercession, embarking on this fasting journey with a partner can be beneficial, as there is strength in numbers. As Jesus stated in Matthew 18:19, when two individuals on earth come into agreement concerning a request, it will be granted by the Father in heaven. These verses do not solely pertain to prayer. They also emphasize the commitment we make when we agree with another person. Consider this analogy. When you plan a vacation together, it becomes more memorable because you plan, dream, and share experiences as a team. Similarly, when you fast and pray with someone, your prayers become more focused, and the experience of fasting becomes more fulfilling. Moreover, fasting with a companion offers additional benefits. You have someone to discuss your doubts, questions, and fears with, and if fasting seems daunting, the strength of another person can help you overcome it. You can rely on each other for advice and support during the process. This support system can provide the motivation needed to continue. Furthermore, When you achieve a goal, such as climbing a mountain alone, the victory is personal. But when you climb with others, there are many people to celebrate with once you reach the top. You can celebrate together, share the joy, and then return to share your victory with everyone. Similarly, when you complete a fast, you can rejoice together, and the companionship itself enhances the taste of victory. Another advantage of fasting with a friend is the establishment of accountability. Knowing that a friend is aware of your fasting can reduce the temptation to eat or break your fast. Perhaps you have already exercised with a friend for the sake of health, and you understand how having a partner can help you maintain commitment when faced with challenges. Even if you are strong-willed, having someone in the same situation can be beneficial for accountability. Before embarking on a fast, it is important to reflect on the purpose behind it. Explore the depths of your heart to discover why you are fasting. There are numerous reasons for fasting, which we will discuss. You might already have a specific purpose in mind. In the story of young David facing Goliath, the other Israeli soldiers not only refused to fight Goliath, but also provided David with various reasons to avoid the battle. However, David remained undeterred, as he possessed a compelling motive to confront that particular giant. It goes beyond mere prayers and fasting. Fasting serves a purpose. Are you willing to abstain from food and relinquish your pleasures? Take the time to jot down a list of your causes on paper so that you can visually perceive them. Keeping a cause solely in your mind can lead to blurriness or vagueness. While you might have a general notion of why fasting is important, writing down your reasons will enhance your focus. Seeing your intentions written down allows for better planning. Do not approach your fast casually or with a careless mindset. Instead, have a deliberate plan for success. If you lack commitment, failure is likely. Do not engage in fasting solely to test your limits, saying, "I'll try until I get hungry." Some individuals have expressed such sentiments about fasting, only to give up at the first sign of discomfort. Make a firm commitment to fast for a day, regardless of the circumstances. You have progressed from contemplating fasting and desiring spiritual growth to taking the next step and committing to seek God for your cause. Your commitment to fast is based on God's grace and assistance. There are various types of fasts, such as the absolute fast, where both food and water are eliminated. Paul underwent this type of fast for 3 days after encountering the Lord Jesus on the road to Damascus and being struck blind. During those 3 days, Paul neither ate nor drank. For your first fast, it is advisable not to attempt an absolute fast. This kind of fast is intended for those in deep distress or those fasting to overcome a severe problem, such as deliverance from addiction or protection against a spiritual adversary. The normal fast involves abstaining from solid food and consuming only liquids. In biblical references, fasting often refers to people who abstain from solid food, with the matter of drinking liquids left unmentioned. For instance, Jesus ate nothing for a period and became hungry. Luke 4:2. But there is no mention of his liquid intake. When people fast, what do they drink? Many eliminate pleasurable beverages like soda and various types of fruit juices. This corresponds to the description in the Old Testament, where individuals afflicted themselves and practiced fasting. In Isaiah 58:3, it refers to a partial fast where certain liquids or solids are eliminated, but not all. This type of fast is also known as the Daniel fast, because Daniel refused to eat from the king's table, as described in Daniel 1:12. Daniel requested to eat only vegetables and drink water for a period of 10 days. The fast did not harm Daniel or his friends. In another instance, Daniel followed a similar partial fast as described in Daniel 10:3, where he abstained from choice food, meat, wine, and lotions for 3 weeks. This partial fast specifies what Daniel avoided, including pleasant foods, meat, and pleasurable substances like wine. John Wesley, the founder and leader of the Methodist movement, practiced fasting before his conferences. He called all his circuit preachers to gather every 2 or 3 months to spiritually prepare for the conference. Wesley fasted for 10 days before each meeting. consuming only natural whole-grain bread and water. He fasted and prayed for spiritual power to influence his ministries during these gatherings. It is widely acknowledged that these Methodist preachers left the conference with a determination to change the world. Their efforts led to the establishment of the world's largest Protestant denomination, which reflects God's honor to Wesley's dedication to fasting and prayer. The rotation fast, although not commonly used in Christian circles, serves medical purposes, primarily to identify a person's reactions or allergies to specific food groups and cleanse their system. The patient typically undertakes a normal or absolute fast for 1 day, followed by introducing and consuming only one new food group each day for 6 days, rotating among the food groups. This method helps determine which food is causing physical problems through elimination and exclusion. When choosing a fast, it is important to consider various factors based on your specific situation. If you are fasting for the first time, it is recommended to start with a 1-day Yom Kippur fast. If you plan to fast for a longer period to address a serious or ongoing issue, fasting 1 day a week for 3 weeks might be preferable over starting with a 3-day fast. If this is your initial experience with fasting, remember that you are embarking on an unfamiliar journey. It is important to exercise caution as you acquire new skills and attitudes for both your physical and spiritual well-being. For your first fast, it is advisable to follow a normal fast where you abstain from food and only consume liquids for a day. This practice will help your body adapt without adverse reactions in case you decide to eliminate both food and liquids in the future. It is essential to align the purpose of your fast with the type of fast you choose. For routine purposes, a normal fast is suitable, while for more serious issues, you may opt for a fast with stricter requirements. Consider your comfort level in terms of the duration and type of fast. When deciding what to eliminate during prayer, maintain confidence and avoid feelings of guilt or doubt. Select a fasting method that allows you to feel at ease with your decision. The timing factor plays a role in determining your fasting schedule and duration. Take into account your weekly commitments and avoid fasting on days that are unsuitable or coincide with special events like Thanksgiving, Christmas, or weddings. It is unwise to begin with an extended fast, as you cannot anticipate your body's response or emotional reactions. Starting with a 1-day fast is manageable. Regardless of the type of fast you choose for your first experience, remember that it requires faith. God recognizes your intentions and will reward you accordingly. Understand that fasting is not solely about abstaining from food. It is about the sincerity of your heart and seeking a deeper connection through prayer. Our fasting should not seek recognition from others, but rather from God, who sees our secret endeavors and rewards openly. We express gratitude to the Lord for the strength and discipline that fasting instills in us, teaching us to rely more on Him and less on ourselves. May God grant us wisdom to comprehend the spiritual purpose and benefits of fasting, reminding us that it is not solely about food deprivation, but about nurturing a genuine relationship with Him. If you found this content valuable, I kindly request your support through subscription, ensuring that you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Together, we can enlighten more minds and broaden our understanding. Thank you for being here, and may God bless you.